Bat Mercy, Soldier Hanzo, Rein Zarya. Okay.
3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
You're fully healed.
Oh, hi, Taser.
Try to keep up.
Yeah, if you want to submit one, go ahead. Okay. I'm just going to watch this first fight real quick and then start talking. Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about a few things here. We're going to pop out. Watch all of this. So y'all start high ground, which is nice. They're all poking. So, BAP damage is legit. If they're poking behind the Rein shield, why the hell aren't you? You can be shooting as well. In fact, if you are not doing damage on BAP, I mean, it's free. You can put in one left click for every right click without slowing down your healing at all. And you can do 2 left clicks per right click and only slow down your healing a little bit. So, like, you really want to be going heal, shoot, heal, shoot, heal, shoot, or shoot, shoot, heal, shoot, shoot, heal, depending on whether you're prioritizing healing or damage at that in the moment. But, like, you're doing both at all times. And all of this, you can be even shooting shield, like, you contribute a lot to shield break. BAP is a spam hero. You need to be spamming out damage all of the time. Just constant damage output. If you can aim it accurately, that's great, but like if you're throwing it into shields or chokes or just generally at them, it's still good and it's free. So like this is the first thing. You're just sort of AFK healing. Okay, your team rotates down. You all drop. So this game is in large part about map control. I'm not saying you all alone, because like they got the Echo, they got the Widow. It's hard for you to hold this, but y'all don't want to just give up this high ground immediately. It's so strong. You want to keep people here, so like, and let me draw this for you. Boom. Cart's gonna come around here, right? So if you leave people up here, and then, you know, a couple people drop and play here, then when the cart is here, they're being shot from 2 directions. It's just so hard to deal with. And like they have to spend cooldowns to come up here and get you. Meanwhile, you guys can just drop off the side and be with your team. You as Bat probably wouldn't want to hold that on your own unless you trust yourself to win the 1v1 with the Echo. But like you and your soldier up here, you and your Hanzo, even better, your tanks are up here because like your tanks just now can start swinging. So why not just drop right off here and start swinging? They can't do shit, or your Rein can't do shit before then anyway. So, like, you guys have spam, spam, spam. Somebody who can spam out right clicks even. If you're all just up here, you break this Rein's shield before he ever gets to the corner. Or, like, you use a whole bunch of resources. Or you just force them to take this so slowly, and you eat a bunch of time off the clock. Meanwhile, you're pretty safe. Okay. And whoop. Okay. And then here, so you're low ground, you're directly behind your tank, so you don't have any kind of angle to apply pressure. And you're in main. You can be doing this exact same thing right here, around this corner, or even better, on here. It's way easier for Bap to land both his right clicks and his left clicks shooting down on people. So anytime you can be on a high ground, even a little bit high ground, is an advantage to you. So stand up on here, you see the Widow or like the Echo start shooting you, you can drop here. And then you play this corner where like you have sight lines on your tanks, and you can peek just as much of their front line as you want. So you go right click, left click, and do your thing. You need to think about kiting backwards with your team rather than staying with your tanks and then like inting onto the cart right after. So here, you're in the open, You're hugging that wall, which is okay, but you don't really have anywhere to go from there. Your Rhine steps out of lamp and dies. And then here, now you're like way cut off. And then you int onto the cart and die, rather than like trying to get out here with your team. Keep your Zarya up. Rhine isn't your biggest priority target, Zarya is. Zarya does so much more damage than Rhine does when she's high charge. You pocket your Reinhardt only long enough for your Zarya to get high charged. Then you're pocketing your Zarya so she can just melt everything. Okay. Everyone's dying. They back out. Okay. So let's talk about your shift also. Your shift does 150 healing to you over 5 seconds, but it does 75 over 5 seconds to your team. 15 a second. It is nothing. It's for you and some very, very limited edge cases where 60 heals a second isn't enough, but 75 is. Oh, sorry, I forgot about the map update. 70 direct shot, 50 splash, and then add 15 onto that. If that 15 is going to make the difference, then okay, but it almost never is, and it's better to save it for yourself for when you need it. It heals you. Which you did end up taking some damage after you used it, so good, but I think that was coincidental. Or was I blind? Walk up. Yeah, you hit your shift while you're full, and then you take damage after. It heals it up, which is nice, but like... and then look where you died. Standing in the open, hugging this corner that gives you no cover from the enemy team, and only cover from your own team. Versus playing back on this corner, or this corner, or this pillar would be good. This pillar would be really strong. Yeah, you're pushing way too far forward, and you're dying way too early relative to the rest of your team. Your Rhine dies, and then you die right after. Or you die and your Rhine dies right after. Your Zarya is the one who matters. Like, you need to be, like, dying to keep her up. Or ideally not dying at all, and just keeping her up. Everyone dies, and you lose this point. Oh, that's not you. That's you. Alright, let's see this window.
Checking in. Adaptive circuits engaged.
See where everyone is when you hit this. Okay. Yeah, so the problem is they were able to just walk right through the window. Let's see, they used 3 ults. You guys only used 2. They kind of just out-ulted you. You guys have Grab Dragon coming online, so maybe that'll help you stabilize. I'm just trying to think. You had so much time where you were standing here doing nothing, and I wonder if it was enough time for you to rotate here, jump up onto this thing, and window here. Then you're healing your team through this, you're shooting them over here. They can't just walk up on you. It's long, long sight lines. They don't. You'd have to worry about, like, the Zen and Kree, who are now LOS. They're over here, the Ana. Like, those 3 people are the ones that can hurt you, and they're over there. The Echo could probably get to you, but you can just melt an Echo through window. So, like, if she comes for you, she's screwed. This is where you want to be. You want to take an angle like this if you can. It's high ground, it has great sight lines. You can always just drop right here if you need to, or come into here.
Got you good at you.
Nice, see? Wreck a shield. Oh, a little slow on that. Unfortunate. Your Hanzo's taking fire. Yeah. So things are getting really confusing, and I can tell you're struggling to, like, prioritize targets, swap between targets. This is better, because now you're backing up where you can see more. But getting too close to the fight makes it really hard to process what's going on. And if you find yourself getting confused, you really need to back up to places where you can see everything. So, like, staying up here, other than dying. Oh, sorry. Boom. So, force both your cooldowns out. Your tanks, I mean, I guess they got an Ana pocket right now, but they're kind of screwed. Imagine if you were standing right here right now. You're shooting them in the back, you're healing your tanks, they're all pinched. It's huge. You got a nice corner to hide behind. They have to travel further to get to you, so it's just harder for them to come and do anything about you. Holding forward like this is getting you killed, man. You gotta back up. Back up and rotate. You don't have to be directly behind or next to your tanks. You usually want to be behind and to a side somewhere where you can see more of what's going on, so you can make better choices. And so it's just harder for them to get to you. Yep. Down, guys. Go. Alright, and you're back up.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
High ground! High ground! High ground! Make your life easier. Make their life more difficult. If you can do what you're doing on a low ground from a high ground, just do it from a high ground. It's just better. Always, pretty much. Yeah, so here you're like way too close. You're taking so much damage. I know you wanted this big angular window here, but like, it does work eventually. And like, using window to help your Rhine turn a corner can be really good, but you put it too far forward and it could have gone the other way. They could have just pushed through it. So, you're so close to this fight. what if you were behind this pillar here? Then you can just LOS. You can always jump back up here if you wanna, or up here. You have great sight lines. You can heal your Rhine as he comes around here or around here. If they push you, your team can push in behind them. It puts them in a really untenable situation where, like, what do? Their only good option is to back up. That's it. And if they back up, you just blast them through the window anyway. They're in open space. But being this close here nearly gets you killed. You guys still win this, but like that was a closer than it needed to be. Yeah, and again, like the right click, left click, right click, left click. You really need to build that muscle memory in. Good, good, good. Yeah, keep spamming, keep shooting. There's no reason to stop shooting. Okay. Let's talk about that lamp. Okay.
Reinhardt.
That happens. Shatter happens. You stand up and you see Rhine pinning towards your Ana. And then look where you drop your lamp. I don't know how she's still alive. That's weird. Oh, I think she didn't get, like, suction pinned. I think she got booped and shot by something else. But, like, this lamp doesn't actually save the person who needs to be saved. Y'all are basically full health. You needed to drop the lamp, like, here-ish. Then it kind of has protection from this. Yeah, it's in the open, but, like, it's better than nothing. It saves your Ana, and it gives you all room to back up in lamp. As opposed to up here, where the direction y'all need to go isn't safe after, like, 2 feet. And then rather than backing up with your team, you W in and die on cart. You need to live way more. You really need to prioritize your own life more. As supports, oftentimes the only chance we have of winning is not for us to go on the objective, but for us to keep alive anyone else on the objective. You want to avoid the cart, the point, everything like the plague unless you have any other choice. It is a death trap. You go there to die. Lamp. I don't know that it would have made the difference there, but again, right click, left click, right click, left click. Maybe you keep your Ana alive, and she can keep you alive. It might actually be hard for this Zarya to kill you both. Maybe not. Maybe she does it anyway, but like that's your one chance here, is to heal each other up, especially once the lamp is about to die. Your other chance was to kill the Zarya, but like that wasn't really happening. And again, you can do both. Right click, left click. Left click, left click, right click. You know, whichever pattern you think is more appropriate for the situation, but
5, 4, 3,
that doesn't have to choose between healing and damage.
1. Attackers incoming.
Usually. Spamming down shields, it's good. Watching the Widow. Yeah, so you know there's a Widow. You're in open ground. In the VOD review request, you mentioned that you die here and you know it's bad, so like we won't go into it, but Or do you? Oh, there she is. Yeah, so now... Oh, don't you dare do this, duel this Widow. She wins that. You didn't need to, but I might have looked to lamp that. Just worried that my Moira would die. Okay, and then yeah, you guys die. Got it. Yeah, you mentioned you knew what you did wrong here, so we won't talk about it. Meanwhile, though, you guys got some ults coming online. So do they, though. Oh, I think you misclicked this window and it was supposed to go the other way. If that's true, then not a bad plan, honestly. Unfortunate it doesn't work. So let's talk about your windows though, because you keep using them to engage, and they can be okay to engage, but they are usually much better as a mid-fight carry ult. When things are getting really messy and you're not sure which way the fight is going to go, you drop window and it goes your way. Like, that's what that ult is usually strongest for. Using it to open up a fight like that, very often they will just back up and hide from it, push forward and kill you, or counter with their ults of their own and try to kill you. So, like, it's a lot harder to get value off of it. Unless the only thing you want to do is zone people back for a few seconds. It's better to wait a little bit later in the fight. Honestly, decent lamp. You had to do it outside to save your Rhine. It was about as in cover as I think you could have gotten it. No, you don't have it. You don't have it right now, but something to think of. When your Zarya lands a grav, you can throw a lamp on your own grav so Ryan can walk into it and swing. He was on top of that grav but couldn't really do anything about it because he was critical. And like, you didn't have the cooldown back. There was nothing you could have done. But if you did have lamp then, you lamp that grav and then Ryan can swing and kill them while you heal up the Ryan.
Inside, stay alive.
It's also kind of unfortunate you have a Moira, because that's not really what you guys need. The problem isn't having enough healing, it's that nothing is dying for a really long time. I feel like a Mercy or a Zen would have been better, but that's not you.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Hey, Roku. And yeah, Snoozer, I got time for more, for sure.
All better. Now.
Way too many of you are on cart. Once you win this point, one person stays on cart, and everyone else needs to push forward and take these high grounds and control them. Because you guys just gave them up. All sitting on cart and just like slowly walking in. So now they have all the high grounds. You guys are screwed. Like, how do you fight this? They just win by default. On paper, they win by default. You have to massively outplay them now to win this. Just full stop. You're so disadvantaged now. Actually, no. Let's go back to your POV. Good positioning back here. You guys are kind of pressuring him back. Your Moira's about to die. And then, yeah, that lamp was just too slow. Main tank player's not taking space. What's new? Yeah. Usually, like, as a support, like, once we cap a point on an escort map, I'm yelling push up, push up, push up. And pushing up myself, so, like, trying to get them to come with me. You don't want to, like, go too far forward all by yourself and just feed and die, but you can encourage people to come with you. Especially in Diamond, once you tell people take the high ground or push up, they go, oh yeah, we're supposed to do that. So, like, I don't know what the comm situation is like on this team, but good lamp. It's not enough. What did they use? Grav, Dragon. Oh wait, you guys used Grav, Dragon. They used Nano, Shatter, and Zen, and Echo. Yeah, they just out-ulted you. Now they got Grav, and they're close to Kree. So, generally in this game, you want to look to combo ultimates as much as you can, to, like, guarantee that you actually get the kills and they work. So, of the 3 ults that you have up, I would look to combo my window with this visor. I would be talking to my soldier in voice or chat. I would be hanging out next to him physically in the game, and one of you goes first. If he visors, you drop window. If you drop window, he visors. Like, whoever sees the opportunity. And then he's doing 40 damage per shot with an aimbot. Okay, cool. But look at where you guys did it. They just backed up. If you had... Whoop. Instead of doing it right here and pushing them off this bridge, if you had walked just a few feet here and done it around here, well then where do they go? Into your team where they die? Like, they can't back up. Even better, since you've already pushed, since you're pushing them off anyway, you guys just keep pushing and put it here. And you can see all of this. Like, you really want to be careful with your windows that they're not just going to leave and then you get nothing for it. If you dropped a window visor right here and surprised them, like, you probably kill their DPS, maybe you kill their supports, like, it could be huge. I think you could have saved that lamp. I mean, it's a little edge case because, like, you don't want somebody to die, but it's just such an important cooldown. Like, what if you had it there? Then you're not dead.
C'est comme bon monde qui a veillé sur
10
moi.
seconds remaining.
Played a lot of support today. Nice.
Overtime.
You could have lamped me for trying to take that duel. I'm surprised he didn't charge it up a little bit longer and kill you. But even better would be to not take that duel so you can then do this. But yeah, things got weird and messy. The biggest thing is you are way too close to your team most of the time. Like, Bap doesn't want to keep as much distance as Ana, because, like, you still got to land your shots and lamp and all that. But you don't want to be right on top of your tanks directly behind them dying when they die. You need to be somewhere where you can pocket your tanks and see everything else that's going on and be safe. High ground, corners, all the time. Take slight angles off of your team so you can see your team and the enemy team at the same time and make educated choices. You do, as BAP, want to keep those angles slight, though, because, like, whoop. Here we go. Wait, let's get these guys. Okay, our blank slate. Enemy team, they're all over here, whatever. Your team, if you're here, then you have to pivot really far to shoot. These guys heal your team, shoot these guys, heal your team. It makes it really hard to aim and really hard to keep that mechanic up. If you're here, you're offset from your team, so you can see the enemy still and your team, and you don't have to flick very far. Shoot, nade, shoot, nade. Also, they can't just push on you very easily because they still kind of have to go through your tanks, or they have to flank like a long way around. So you want your positioning still behind, but a little bit offset, and you need to live more. You need to start rotating out and backing out. There's this like ebb and flow feeling to the game where you push in, then you pull back out, then you push back in, and you need to be doing that. And as it is, you push in, and then you die. Once you get pushed back, you don't retreat. You just stay there until you're dead. Yeah. I think those are the biggest things. Hopefully that was helpful. Feel free to submit another VOD sometime.